Hi, I've been visiting business schools over the past few weeks and giving students some insight into consulting life and what it takes to be a great consultant. And invariably, I'm asked about CVs and what makes a good CV. So I thought it'd be really interesting to talk you through an actual CV and give you some insight into what a consulting recruiter actually looks at. Now, I was asked by somebody to review their CV, and I don't typically do free CV reviews because I get asked a lot. But in this case, I asked if they would be happy for me to share this review with you, and they agreed. So that's what I'm going to go through today. Now, this person has applied for several tier one consultancies, so McKinsey, Bain, BCG, Deloitte, KPMG, and they haven't had much luck. Now, what you'll see from their CV, they're an experienced hire. They have 8 years of experience. My suggestion to them is actually to focus on more of the tier two, tier three consultancies that are aligned with their skills and experience. So what I'm going to do now is show you that CV and what that CV could look like as well.
Okay, let's go. So this is the CV. You can see it's a two-page CV, which is fine because she's an experienced hire. If she had less than 3 years experience, or if she was applying for a tier one consultancy like the MBB, then I would recommend the one-page CV. And I've got an example of one here. You can see it's very clean, very well structured, very concise, not distracting. Every word used is a valuable word. Um, the golden rule here is less is more with CVs. So don't waffle. Get to the point. Quantify your experience and your achievements. Okay, and this does that quite well. All right. So we've got a two-page CV here. Just generally, the look of it, the font size is great. It's very clear. The font itself is clear. There's not too much bold. There's some bold, but not too much, which is good. There's some color in there, but not too much. Fine with that. There aren't any silly graphics that will mess with the ATS system or just distract you from the content and the substance of your CV. And there's no photo in there, which is good. That photos just can lead to bias. If they really want to look at you, they can look at your LinkedIn or just invite you for an interview. But really, the look of you doesn't really matter that much, does it? It's all about what's in here that counts. So one thing I did say is this CV looks quite crammed. The margins are very thin, and I've suggested to her that she corrects that. You can see she's used every single bit of white space there as well, which just looks a little bit. It looks like she's overusing text. Let's go through section by section. So here we've got her name. She had her middle name in there. I did question her on that. I've advised to remove it. There's no need. They don't need to know your middle name. Okay. Next section is the phone, email, and LinkedIn address. There's no need to state that that's a phone number. I know it's a phone number, and I know this is an email address. So this is extra text that's just not necessary. Okay, it can be removed. In terms of phone number, if you are based in the UK and you have a UK phone number, just put the UK phone number in there. You don't need to have the international code. The email address. Now, recruiters in the UK, when we advertise for a role, we are inundated with CVs from all over the world, often from people that don't have the right to work in the UK or, quite frankly, are not qualified in the slightest to actually do the job that's being advertised. I would always recommend, this is clearly a Yahoo email address from India. I would recommend using an international email address, so an outlook.com or a gmail.com, one you can easily set up yourself, okay? And make sure it looks professional with the words that are up here too, okay? LinkedIn, you only really need to put this bit in. You don't need to put in the full address. So I've advised to cut back on that. I also question whether or not we really need this anymore because LinkedIn's widely used, and if they want to go and find you, they will find you. Okay, so it's up to you on that one. I've also recommended that she puts a location in here as well, just to point out that she's in Liverpool, UK. If not, it's pretty obvious she's got her MBA from University of Liverpool, which is really good. A lot of text here. There's a lot of text for education. There's a lot of space being used, and I've advised against that. I would keep it quite short and sweet. When we look down here, she's clearly a winner. She's top 1%. She's got bursaries and sponsorships. That's really good to have in there. But these here are actually work experience. They're obviously MBA projects that she's been working on, but it's work experience. So put it down here in the work experience, and that serves two purposes. Firstly, it shows that she's actually working in the UK, which is a good thing. And secondly, you know what? Just because it's not paid work, it doesn't mean it's not work. Okay, you can put voluntary work down in that work experience. That's absolutely fine. Right, now down to the work experience itself. Um, there are a lot of bullet points here. I would suggest no more than 5 if you can, with work experience. Um, One question I had for her was, did you really achieve all this in just 9 months? I didn't really believe it. And sure enough, when we talked about it, actually this had been over a couple of roles. So she's gonna change the structure of this. One thing I would say, there's no need to have the location there. You can make just say national or regional or whatever. That's fine. A few things she's done really well here is she talks in the past tense. You know, she did this, she did that. You know, she's using the third person, which I agree with as well. So you don't say I did this, you say led this, did this, achieved this. Okay, don't put words in there like collaborated or supported. So I've advised against this one. This just it suggests that it's not really your achievement. You know, tell me what you actually did. All right. Um, the other thing that a lot of people do badly is that they only put their responsibilities in here. Okay, now that's all very well. You can put a bullet point or two, but it's very easy to be responsible for something but actually do a bad job at it. So by putting in your achievements and quantifying them, and you can see she's quantified this really well throughout, then that really shows that you're an achiever. You know, you've actually delivered results. Okay. This achievement at the bottom here, this for me is part of the achievements up here. There's no need to separate that bit out. So I've suggested she combines that. Then she had another role, and you know, as you go through her other experiences, there's less information to put in there, which I would expect. Again, there's no need to put the location. These additional leadership experiences, really, they should be up here. If they're achievements, they're up here. There's no need to highlight this detail. All right. And then the last thing, she's put in some skills and interests, which is good. That's great. Perhaps a little bit too much space being used there, but she's clearly a winner. Yeah, she's clearly an interesting person, and that's the kind of person that I would want to interview. All right. So that's her CV. What could it look like? Well, what I did was I spent a bit of time chatting with her and looked at her LinkedIn and really tried to pull out from this CV here. You can't really, it takes a bit of effort to figure out how much experience she's got, what industry she works in, what are her strengths, what are her passions. Yeah. What I've suggested for her, and you don't have to have this, but you could have a profile section, no more than 4 lines, I would suggest. Definitely no more than 5. Really just highlighting, and from this you can see quite clearly she's an MBA, she's a management consultant, she's been working in the healthcare and FMCG industries for 8 years. Okay, simple. This is your elevator pitch or something similar. You don't have to have it here. You can have it in a CV, a cover letter. I've just put this in for her, and she's gonna work on that for herself. The next section is expertise. Now, many years ago, I had a professional CV reviewed for myself, and they put this in. And really, it's to feed into the ATS system so that you've got the keywords in there. You don't have to have this here. I have put it in because, again, I want her to be able to really focus on what is it she's got, what expertise. What you do is you look at the elements they're looking for from the job advert and their website, and you put them in here. Okay, but you only put in things that you can actually back up with some substance and some experience. You don't want to lie on a CV because you will get caught out. Okay. So that's there. It could go at the bottom, or you don't have to have it at all. I have spoken with some recruiters who believe that this can be a little bit lazy. They want to see this information actually within the substance of the CV. So I'll leave that one up to you. The rest of it, you can see that the education is much more focused, much more concise. The work experience, I've put the Liverpool roles in there. I've shortened this and really cleaned up the language, and asked her to explain to me what she's done there. look at this, look, a lot of white space at the bottom. That's absolutely fine. Less is more. You don't have to fill up that space, because all it will do is just confuse uh, and take time for the recruiter. Bearing in mind they only typically spend the first 6 or 7 seconds is what they'll do with the first scan through of your CV, and generally they're looking at this top section here to begin with. If they like what they see, then they'll look at more. This is why you really need to get that key message across quite quickly. All right, and that's the review. Good luck with your studies. Good luck with your own CVs, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thank you.